What's happening? I want to thank you for coming to Vape with a Viking today. So today what I got for you is a pod system. Pod system. They're everywhere. I mean, literally everywhere. But I got this neat little thing that I bought from Vaporesso, the Aurora Play. Um, so this is kind of a cool little pod system that we'll definitely dive down and get into. Not a whole bunch on the dive down because it is a pod, but I like to get a little close, a little personal, so you can see exactly what's going on instead of me trying to show you like this. So, unfortunately, and I said it in the dive down, I'll probably say it again when we come back up on it too. Is it's rainbow. The only thing they had available. These things are really, really hot, as in trying to find them, and then also trying to find a particular color because they do have a metallic gray, which is a like a pewter color with like these really cool engravings on it. Really super cool. So they did kind of a lot of finishes for just about anybody. So good job on that one, Vaporesso. But before we dive down onto it and get into it, let's go over Vikings Advocacy Minute. Same as usual. Go out there, go to CASA, be informed. Don't have to be an advocate, but at least know your rights and know what they're trying to do to your and all of our rights when it comes to vaping. Tons of stuff going on everywhere. There's calls of action almost every day, it seems like now. You know, South Australia got completely destroyed. Hopefully they can rebuild back up on it. South Africa is attacked. We're attacked here in the States. I mean, New Zealand and the UK. That's who we strive to be to, but if we do not get involved, we will never get to that point. So, that is enough of that. Just go sign up already. If you haven't, do it. If you have, great. So you know I'm not talking to you. All right. But let's go ahead and get into it, and let's take a little closer look at the Vaporesso Aurora Play.
Alright, so what I got for you today is the Aurora Play by Vaporesso. So on the side here you got Vaporesso, they got you covered. And on this side it does say Renova Series by Vaporesso, their warning label. Nothing there. And on this side you got a couple features. They are C-cells or ceramic cells that if you've ever used it, like the Cascade or Cascade Baby coils, they are that ceramic. Does have quick charge and protection. It is a press to fill and 3 levels of power. Then on the back here you got a kind of a little brief explanation, some specs, the contents, and of course all the warnings and UPC. Alright, we'll take a look in here. And yeah, bad thing is this guy pretty much is a little hard to find still right now. Sells out really quickly. So did find it on a site, and all they had was rainbow. I really wanted that metallic gray, which is the one that has like the engravings on it. It was just super slick looking, but of course that's usually the first one sold out no matter where you go. So we got rainbow for you, and it's not a horrible one. It's got a kind of a matte finish to it, so that kind of makes it, I guess, a little more bearable. So, but in the pack you'll of course get your Vaporesso Play, and then you'll get a box of contents here. And in this box you have all kinds of stuff. You're gonna have your charge cable, and it is one of the nice braided charge cables, and just looks like just regular USB, micro USB. And let's get all the rest of the stuff out of there. Alright, so looks like you do have an additional pod. Then you have the warranty card that comes in that nice little presentation envelope. And there's going to be your scratch authenticity, well, not really a scratch, excuse me, it's a little 3D holographic anti-counterfeit with a QR code. And then of course your warranty. And then this is just a little card that's going to kind of do some real quick rundowns for you. You got your power on and off, 5 button clicks, adjust power, 3 clicks, and then of course what the different colors for your settings going to be. So low is red, medium is green, and medium is green, medium is blue, and your high is green. And then of course tells you press it 3 times in 2 seconds to adjust the output, and then your battery level indicator, low battery, medium battery, high battery. And then on this side it kind of goes over the whole push to fill, and we'll just kind of go over that real quick. And it does tell you roughly the pods are about basically 5 fills and they're done. And they do tell you use 50-50 up to 30-70 blend on your juice. So definitely no max VG in these guys. So you have your user manual here. Again, goes over some specs again. And then kind of goes over what we just went over in the card, except for this got a little bit better color to it and a little easier to read. So just freeze that real quick if you want. Take a look, but we'll just go over it real quick. And then some other stuff in there. And then you have, of course, the rest of your languages. So, and you have their little push to fill bottle. So what this is going to be definitely good for is, especially what I'll be running in it, is Bad Drip Labs use the little glass dropper bottles. Doesn't really work that great in these push to fills. So they gave you one of these guys to take, and it's got one of the loose caps. Put your liquid in there, put that in there, and now you have a little more sturdy push to fill mechanism. And then here's your Vaporesso Play here. Basically, one of the big appealing things to me, it's very Zippo-esque, or old butane lighter-esque. So as a person to try to get off of smoking, or if you were that person that collect Bics or just like having something fidgety in your hand, this is going to be the ticket for you. So I know a lot of people that are ex-Zippo, ex-smokers, Zippo collectors that are raving about this just because, well, look. There you go. Just same old hinge like a Zippo. But inside you have, of course, your pod. They are magnetic, so they just pull out right away. Pretty easy. And then the one that you'll get in there, of course, will have the little tab in there. Little peel tab. You want to peel that off first. And that will expose your contacts. So make a good connection there. And on the side of the pods, of course, it'll tell you, let's see, let's get that up close. See if we can read that. There we go. And it'll tell you Vaporesso Aurora 1.3. So there it'll tell you what exactly you're running in there. And then of course you have your drip tip here, non-removable that I'm aware of. I believe I saw somewhere where they had taken it off, but that one's pretty secure on there. And then there's your push to fill mechanism. That'll just go right down in through there, and then there's your little C-cell coil. And then on the inside here, the sticker is stuck to my finger. There we go. So on the inside, you'll actually see the 2 contacts in there. That's where it'll make contact with the pod itself. And that's really pretty much all there is to it. And battery and everything else is that in there. It's going to have this little sight window. When you do have this filled up, you'll be able to see your e-liquid level. So that's a handy little feature there. Something that has one of the dripper style bottles, so you, of course, are going to use the little push fill bottle in there. And I've already put some of that gnarly sauce in there. So you'll just take and open it up, push this down in there, push it down, and that opens that little door up. And I won't fill it all the way up so you can see it. But even in the little sight window, you can see right there where your liquid level is. And we'll see basically how accurate that is. So it's about 3/4 full. And yeah, it's actually pretty much almost completely full. Just that little window section is probably it there. So it's probably fairly accurate. It's better than this being solid and not knowing exactly what's in there at all. So still a good little system. All right, so just like the everything else we saw show you, just take and do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That turns it on there, and it'll flash all 3 colors. Right now it's going to be defaulted at green, which is your high setting. So 1, 2, 3. Now it's blue, and that's going to be your medium power setting. And then 1, 2, 3. And now it changes to red, and red is your low power setting. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All 3 colors again, and it's off. And then of course there's your USB charge port, but that's it. So we'll let that soak for probably a good 5-10 minutes, and then we'll come back up, vape on it, and I'll give you my final thoughts on the Vaporesso Aurora Play.
All right, we are back up with the Vaporesso Aurora Play. All right, so thoughts on this guy. First off, price wise, I found it personally for like 32, 33 bucks, somewhere around in there. I've seen it anywhere from 24, 25 up to, I think there are a couple sites selling them for almost 50. So very crapshooty when it comes to the price point on this guy. But there are only a couple in the States so far that have US or have the distribution for it. So they're kind of harder to get a hold of. Now, with that being said, pros and cons, I'm going to go over cons first. And honestly, all the cons that I have are kind of subjective. And they're not even, I guess I shouldn't say, they're not even my cons per se. There would be possibly cons for you as the consumer. One, like good example is Spring Vaping UGA girl, one of my TRV, yeah, see if I get to it, TRV crew members. She does not like ceramic cells. So, for like her, this would be a con. These do run on ceramic coils, so the C cells. I personally, I do not mind them at all. Now, when I was using the Cascade Baby that actually came with my Armor Pro mod from Vaporesso, I didn't like sub-ohming. I tried that tank a couple times. I didn't even review it because it just was, it was sub-ohm. It was decent, but at least from the sub-ohm ceramic coils, they didn't last very long at all. So far on this, I've filled it up a couple times now, and it seems like it's doing just fine. And I know there are other reviewers out there that got this as like a reviewer model, so they got it months ago, and a lot of them saying they were vaping on it for, had a lot of life out of the coil. So that part would be cool. Me personally, I haven't been vaping on it long enough to know if that ceramic coil is going to have a decent life or if it's going to be kind of cruddy life like the C cells from Vaporesso was. So that would essentially be my only con, and again, it's not even a con for me. It probably is for a lot of consumers out there if you don't like ceramic. But for me, this is a great transition piece to get someone away from smoking and into vaping because it's small, it's stealthy, and then I know it's either you or somebody you know who smokes that just absolutely loves and adores and collects Zippos. They're out there. Everybody's out there. There are some people I know that, 2 in my lifetime, that didn't even smoke that still collect Zippos. So that's just kind of how popular this design would be for a smoker and for several other people. So you kind of get that nice transition where people think, hey, I still have a lighter on me. I still have my Zippo. But then you get the vape, and then of course you get the fidgety people that just like playing with that sound and stuff. But but you could do Zippo tricks with this, and do a little vape. So But yeah, lots of pros to it. It's at a decent price point for a pod system that works really well. The vape on it is good in my opinion. I don't do Nick salts. I am running some Bad Drip Labs salt in here, mainly because theirs are 24, 25 milligram salts. I can hang with those. I can easily deal with those. I don't have any issues with them. It's not harsh. It's not. It doesn't make me as jittery. So on and so forth. Um, Now, one thing that could be also a con to you as well as a consumer is the airflow is actually at the bottom of this guy, of the pod itself. So it is not adjustable. So in my opinion, it's about a mid-range tightness when it comes to a mouth to lung. It's not tight, but it's also not super airy or loose either. It's kind of right in the middle. So, and they probably did that to try to cater to a broad range, because you do have some of those MTL people and pod people that are just like, I want it super, 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 super tight, and then some that are like, nah, I'd like it really loose, like a Orion is a good example. So this would I would have to say is a little tighter than Orion, but not as tight as some of the really tight pods like Infinix and stuff like that. So it's a nice in-betweener, in my opinion. The top fill system is super easy. That can be a con to you as well, though, just because if you do have glass bottle drippers, you can fill it with that dropper, but it's kind of a pain. But that's also why they included that little bottle for you. So that was pretty nice of them. But changing out flavors can be kind of a pain that way. So, but yeah, I definitely say if you are a Zippo enthusiast and will actually use a pod system, grab it. If you are a smoker wanting to transition into vaping, grab it. If you're already a vapor and do pods and you're just like, I really love my pod, whatever, still grab it. It's really cool, especially all the different finishes too. So, yeah, I mean, that's really pretty much all I can keep saying about this guy is grab it. I haven't found anything that would steer me or steer me away from telling people to go grab it, except for trying to find it. Sometimes it's a little hard. So, but that is all I got today for the Aurora Play by Vaporesso. So I want to thank each and every one of you yet again for coming by to Vape with a Viking, and I'll check you later.